What is going on, YouTube? It's Wad, and we need to talk about your game mode ideas for the finals. I know this video is long overdue. I ended up spending way longer than I thought I would on my tier list video, which, if you haven't seen by now, you should check out sometime. Not right now though, because the wait is over. The gameplay you're watching is from the Smoking Guns LTM. This mode has 3 teams of 4 duke it out at high noon with restricted weapons and utility in a tournament-styled version of Bank It. Except, the heavy class gotta use its Lewis gun for some reason. I'm also playing with a controller for the first time in a couple of months, so take it easy on me. Just a little bit though, not too much. Let's get into it. By far, the most popular suggestion on the video was an infection-styled mode by Red Wheelbarrow 641. According to the viewer, the mode would work like this. 2 to 3 players start off as a hammer heavy and must hunt down 12 mediums and lights with limited gear. Death results in a respawn as a heavy. There are map-wide scans to prevent camping, and heavies can be killed but have a larger health pool. I like this idea, but the settings need some work. The heavy is too slow to designate the infected class, especially if restricted to a melee weapon. Because of this, the light would be a better fit for this role, spawning with the dagger and utility like the grapple hook and an invisibility grenade. Heavies would become the uninfected class, kitted with M60s and SAs, the charge, and explosive mines. The last thing you want in infected modes is for matches to drag on, since that only raises the chances that infected players leave matches. Halo's Infection is a perfect example of this mode done right, tweaking with the sandbox to provide players who manage to stay alive enough of a thrill fighting off hordes of infected to play again, but not so much as to lose the interest of infected players. I'd also make it round-based and reward players points as cash for objectives like each minute survived, infecting players, and being the last player standing. The last 2 changes I'd make are minor but important. First, I changed the number of infected players at the start to 2, leaving the uninfected number at 10. It's my belief that when we recommend game modes, we should try our best to keep them within the game's parameters. Right now, 12 players is the most we see on the map at once, so it's fair to assume this is the number we're working with. Lastly, because maps in the finals are larger than other games with infected modes, I'd like to see the frequency or duration of scans increase as the game progresses. I'd also recommend naming this mode Cat and Mouse, because it just seems appropriate to me. Overall, this idea would be great for the finals. The second most popular suggestion was a mode titled Mystery Heroes by Tyler Hubner. Tyler described the mode as follows. Players receive a random class and loadout, meaning weapon, specialization, and gadget with each death. Ideally, this would also include a random look each time, and the mode would either be solo or duo. It'll come as no surprise to you who've seen the original video that I love any idea for game modes that forces the sandbox on players. Why? Well, whether we know it or not, I think gamers fall into the trap of repetition. What I mean by this is, we sign on to the games we like to play the modes we like with the things we like, and then wonder a month or 2 later why the game is becoming stale. Expanding the sandbox to players through LTMs like Tyler's offers a chance for players to fall in love with a new playstyle and transfer it to the base game. Whether that's a new class, weapon, or gadget, it doesn't matter. It's more hours where players feel like they're progressing rather than just going through the motions. Though for this mode to work best, I think it'd have to be in a standard teams of 3 quick cash setting. Solo queuing as a random hero would be fun, and maybe even worth considering on its own sometime down the road. But the challenge of making your randomized loadout work with a team in a standard mode raises the chances players continue using their newfound playstyle after the LTM expires. Those are just my thoughts though, it's still a brilliant idea. Today's final suggestion is a mode called Time is Money by Chazik7115. Now I've made some changes here to keep it within the realm of possibility, but its core idea is in keeping with the original post. Here is its description. 12 players battle it out in a banquet-themed LTM with a twist. Instead of depositing cash, players deposit time used to extend their games. Players are eliminated when their clock reaches 0, and the number of cash-out locations gradually decreases to 1 as the round progresses. The last player standing wins the game. Chazzik came up with this mode with the fans of Battle Royales in mind, and I get it. While the days of calling for a BR mode in every game are long behind us, and thank God, I think taking elements of what makes BR games so popular and reimagining them into something unique is still worthwhile. Regardless of how you or I feel about BR games, they've become a staple of our scene for a reason. Each round has its narrative, capturing viewers' attention and motivating every player in the lobby to be the 1 in 100. This mode would fill that sizable niche for fans of the genre while keeping its core undeniable as the finals. In other words, exposure without selling out. A win-win. So, to recap the game modes we've covered today with an overview of their settings. First, Red Wheelbarrow's Infection that sees infected lights hunt down uninfected heavies. Second, Tyler Hubner's Mystery Heroes, where players battle it out in conventional quick cash with randomized loadouts generated for each death. And lastly, Chazzik's Time is Money, the finals take on a BR mode that has players compete for in-game time rather than cash in a spin on solo banquet. I'd love to hear what you guys think about these game mode ideas, or even just more on some modes you'd like to see, so leave a comment below. If you're enjoying my content, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, maybe even consider joining the channel. We've recently hit 1,000 subs, a milestone I never thought I'd reach so quickly, so thank you to everyone who was a part of that. I have exciting plans for the remainder of the year I can't wait to share with you all, and who knows, we may even be expanding beyond the finals, so keep your eyes out for that. Oh, and one last thing, consider joining this channel's Discord, links in the description. That's it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.